Hello, everyone, and I'm Carrie Roldan, and I am so sorry for the delay today. One of the things that sometimes happens on Google Plus is that we get glitches that no matter how much we prepare for them, how many times we've gone through this process, we can have a new glitch. So Anita and I have, through the magic of what is it called? Mobile Hangouts. We are here. So Anita is joining us from her phone, and I will get to that in just a minute. So let me give you my intro like I always do. So hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the Carrie Roldan Show, where we spend 30 minutes, maybe a few less this week since we're starting late, having conversations that matter to the mompreneur's mind, body, and spirit, and business. I'm your host, Carrie Roldan, and I am a wife, a mother, an author, a coach, a personal growth junkie, and your total business BFF. I help busy mompreneurs who are ready to spread their wings, to leverage their unique gifts so they can make an impact on the world and support their families as well. I'm also an avid runner, and I believe it to be an essential practice, not just for my health and fitness, but for the health of my business as well. And to learn more about that, you can download my free report, The 5 Reasons You Can't Afford Not to Run, at freereport.runyourselfhappysystem.com. So that's freereport.runyourselfhappysystem.com. Now, I created the Carrie Roldan Show because I have stumbled, and continue to, on my entrepreneurial journey. Because the road to success, at least for me thus far, has been full of potholes and detours and dead ends, not to mention self-doubt, fear, worry, debt, marital tension, and personal struggle. And I wanted to share what I continue to learn on my journey in the hopes that it'll help others too. I believe in the mompreneurial dream, and I want to support others on the journey, which is why I'm pretty darn excited about today's topic and today's guest. So the topic for today is home-based business, the dream and the reality. And guys, I've started many home-based businesses, from multi-level marketing to information products to freezer meals. I've done a lot of things in search of mompreneurial nirvana. You know the place, right? It's this idyllic notion that we can work a few hours a week, enjoy time with our families, volunteer in the classroom, still get dinner made, and make a massive positive impact on the world. Oh, and watch the money roll in while we're doing it. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't live there, not yet. My husband and I currently run 2 businesses out of our home in addition to his regular 9-to-5 job. We work a lot. We work a lot. But slowly and surely, our real life is beginning to align with the dream life. So this week on the Carrie Roldan Show, my guest, Dr. Anita, hey Anita, I'm sorry if I butcher your last name. I always call her Dr. Anita. I think it's Marchesani. And I will be discussing the ideal of the home-based business, why it is attractive to so many of us moms, and some of the very real pitfalls. Anita's expertise lies in helping people develop their home-based businesses with balance and ease, so they aren't racked by the guilt over not paying enough attention to their businesses or their family, or feeling like they're constantly worried about their business during family time. Can I get an amen? I am so excited to have her on. You have no idea. And mostly for selfish reasons, because it seems that Anita helps women just like me, and I'm betting you too. So Dr. Anita is a sanity saver for home-based business and small business owners. She helps them build thriving businesses that fit perfectly into their family life so they can honor the most important parts of their lives while also contributing meaningfully to the economy of their household. She's an executive coach and a licensed psychologist and has been running her own successful home-based business since 2002, while, get this, homeschooling her 2 boys. She has been happily married to her husband since 1991, and they have 2 fabulous but crazy dogs. So, Anita, I am unmuting you, and welcome to the show. Oh, wait, I still can't hear you. Hold on. All right. Can you hear me now? Can I hear you now? No. Try using on the top of your screen the microphone button and see if that will do it. Oh, I totally forgot. You are on mobile. How about I turn you all the way up? All right, now try.
All right, can you hear me now? Woohoo! Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have to say, Carrie, so for anybody who's watching this right now who happens to know me, they will know that all this experience is completely normal for me. I have what I call a complicated relationship with technology, and pretty much, I mean, you all who are viewing this now, you don't even know the half an hour that we were dealing with all kinds of tech issues, and that's so standard for me. So, you know, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. This is not one of my strengths. So,
well, can I tell you something, Anita? Is I usually do not have difficult experiences with technology, but what I have found, and this may be a little hippy-dippy woo-woo for a lot of you, but is that when the subject matter is really important, when it is super important to my soul, when there's a real need for me to receive something, technology is not always my friend. It's like my energy gets involved with the technology. So maybe that's just because whatever it is that you have to say
Alex,
today.
actually, you don't know if you can see me. Hopefully, let me. Can you? Okay. I'm sorry, you froze. Talk about, isn't that funny? Right when you were talking about how when you need to hear something is when the text stuff happens. Right at that moment is when at least you froze on my end. I don't know what you experienced on your end. So, oh my gosh.
Well, I saw you freeze. So clearly this is important. So I'm going to turn it over to you for just a second so that you can at least take a minute to talk about what you want to talk about while you're here.
Yeah. And so first of all, I want to thank you because I think I was, you guys couldn't hear me earlier. I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity, Carrie, because I am an executive coach. I'm a licensed psychologist by training. I did work as a therapist for several years, and then I started my coaching practice in 2002 or something like that. And I am so strongly in favor of home-based businesses as an option, a very viable and very potentially lucrative option for a lot of moms. Now, I work with people who kind of fall along the whole range of the spectrum of what success means to them. And I think this lifestyle can be very frustrating. I mean, I think it's the perfect lifestyle, but it does not have perfect circumstances. I mean, it's just the perfect choice, but not the perfect lifestyle, if that makes sense. Because it's hard. I mean, it's hard to run your business. And then when you're doing it from home, there's a whole kind of other set of challenges associated with running a home-based business in addition to just running any business. And so I think a lot of times people start home-based businesses not really appreciating just all the challenges. I mean, they talk about, they think about the potential upside, which is enormous for a lot of people, but you don't hear a lot about, hey, all the work that really goes into it. Yeah. So
that's actually what I want to talk about, and I'm going to totally just come clean here and let you know kind of where I am, and I think a lot of moms are, is when I started my home-based business, I thought that I could still be the stay-at-home mom that I am and, like, do my business in secret. That's why I started an online business, right? So that I didn't have to go to all these, go to meetings or do mixers in people's houses. Or I thought, okay, well, I'll just launch a website and I'll do a few things before the kids wake up and a few things after the kids wake up, and the money will just start rolling in.
Yeah.
And, I've learned a lot along the way. So I don't know, maybe take a minute to school me on that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, a couple of things. You hear these fantasy stories about people who built, a six-figure income and working only 10 hours a week. And I'll tell you, I mean, the truth is those case studies do exist. Those stories are true. And I worked with a person several years ago who built, it was a Mary Kay business, actually, working only on Saturdays for like 2 years. And she worked herself up to the top 5% of her company. And yeah, I mean, so it is doable, but wow, is that an outlier? That is not the normal way that businesses are built, home-based businesses. And so I think it's tough because you hear these fantasy stories and you think, oh, I'll do that. I'll just wrap it around my current lifestyle. Well, the reality is if you want to build a business you have to give it just as much energy as any other really important thing in your life, whatever that is. So if you want it to be successful, just like you want your family to be successful, and if you want your fitness to be successful, there's a lot of time and a lot of energy that goes into the things that we want to grow. So having this mentality where you kind of wrap your business around your current schedule, that's actually relegating your business to a secondary or even tertiary place in your life. You're basically saying, well, it's really not that important because I'm just trying to fit it in. And you can't build a viable business with that mentality. You just can't, because what happens is you might think to yourself, okay, every night between 7 and 8:30, I'm going to, make my follow-up phone calls. I'm going to, pursue my leads, whatever it is. And the reality is that up until you go through your whole day, and then 7 o'clock comes when on your calendar, on your schedule, you think, okay, now's my business building time. You haven't even given it one thought during the whole day. And if you think that at 7 o'clock you're all of a sudden going to take your mom hat off and put your business owner hat on, and then you're just going to have this total transformation just because it's 7 o'clock, that doesn't happen. And you really have to put a lot of mental energy and thought into business building in addition to the time that you put in, if that makes sense. So a lot of people think that it's about the time, and it's really not. It's actually about the energy and the focus that you put into your business. So it's not the hours of the day. So that gets a lot. That people feel misled too. They think, oh, I can make this fit into my schedule, and it's hard to do it that way. It really is. It really is.
So that's actually one of the things that was several years ago. I was involved with network marketing. Still love the product, still think it's a great company, but I think that was one of the things that really got me is this sales pitch, right? The promise of, I built my business, I got my $1 million business working only Saturdays. But, right, maybe that person was invested all week long energetically. And I also have a belief, especially now, having been through all of the things that I've been through, that it's about your internal workings, right? It's about what's going on inside of you, that if you have to get yourself to a place where you're ready for that level of success. So a lot of these overnight successes come after 10 years of personal growth and development. So I don't know if you want to talk about that. I'll put you back on screen.
Yeah, right. Okay. So there's a couple different things. One is that I also believe, and you're not going to hear this from a lot of people, but sometimes that ultra level of success is luck. Okay, you're in a great geographic area that maybe your network marketing company had not really had a lot of exposure to, and so it just really took off because you were the only game in town and people got excited about it, and you could build to a certain level. And not that there's no effort behind that, but I do think that like certain markets are more saturated than others, and that influences your business growth, particularly with direct sales and network marketing, because there are certain companies that in pockets around the country that are just very, very saturated, and that has a lot to do with business growth or stumbling. The other thing is that you something that looks like an overnight success that you alluded to isn't, and success has to start internally. I mean, you have to the learning curve of a successful business owner is extremely steep and extremely long. So you have to do all kinds of internal work before you start to see the external results. That's always 99.9% of the time. That's the direction that it goes. Like I said, you have these people who stumble onto success. But if you have never, in the course of your entire life, ever thought that you'd be any kind of a business owner at all, and then all of a sudden you think, hey, this might be a good idea, it's not going to work like that. You have a long road to climb, and it's a fun road at times. It's also arduous, but wow, do you learn a lot about yourself. You really push yourself to your potential, so it's rewarding along the way. But if people are not committed to that process, the business just... It really will falter.
Which is why I think there's such a booming industry now for business coaches, for personal growth and development coaches, for all of that is because I think it is, especially being home-based, there is just a recognition of like, I'm sitting in isolation here. I need help, I need support, and I need someone else who's been on the journey. But I actually want to talk about something else real quick, because since we started a bit late, we are now running low on time, and being the mompreneur that I am, I got a preschool pickup. So I want to talk about what we promised our viewers, which is the pitfalls. And so, or to talk about, we didn't promise you the pitfalls. What we've talked a lot about, sort of the downside of starting a home-based business, right? The upside is that you actually can have that dream, that life that we're talking about, the 4-hour work week or the just work Saturdays. You can achieve that with your home-based business. That's why we're all in business, because we've heard the stories of it happening to other people. We know people who it's happened to. I know that for me is huge, to have friends, to know actual real people who are doing it, who are living that lifestyle that I'm after, is huge. But what I want to talk about is maybe some strategies. So one of the things that is still continues to be hard for me is when I'm with my kids, I'm thinking of all the things I could be doing with my business. And when I'm with my business, I'm kind of feeling guilty for all the things that I could be doing with my kids, especially if I'm doing business things at the time when my kids are home, which is practically all the time. So do you have any advice for that? And I know you homeschooled while you built your business, so I'm really curious about that.
Okay, so I think what you just described, and actually you kind of froze there for a few seconds, so I didn't get everything, but I did get what you just asked, and I actually think that's the biggest contributor to people quitting, because you're in this constant state of anxiety. You're never like happy, because you're always worried in one way, shape, or form. And that's a shame, because that specific problem, or whatever you want to call it, state of mind, is totally fixable. And so one of the things that I really strongly encourage, two things, is to have a great structure to your day and to your week. Now, for some people that means a schedule. Like, you know, some people really do very well with schedules, and they know, if you know that you have time to do your marketing tonight at 7 o'clock, then don't think about it. Don't worry about it. And you should have planned before, like what you're going to do at that time. But don't be, riddled with, oh, marketing, I hate it, I don't know what I'm going to do, and all that sort of stuff, and all the hours leading up to 7 o'clock. You're going to be exhausted. By the time 7 o'clock comes, you're going to be paralyzed by just anxiety, and just the downtroddenness. But having a schedule like that, though, really does help, because you can say, okay, I know, you look at, in the morning, you look at your day and say, I know that I'm going to be dealing with marketing tonight. That's what I have on, Wednesday nights at 7. I work on marketing. And so you you have to tell yourself, when your mind starts to think about, your business or what you're going to do, it's okay if you're driving down the street, okay. But if you're with your kids, you have to deliberately tell yourself in your mind, I can't think about that right now. I'm going to think about that tonight at 7, and I have time scheduled, so it'll be fine. I have time to think about that later on. Right now I'm going to focus on my kid's soccer game, or whatever it is. And so you have to, that's not going to happen naturally, that you are just going to be able to contain your thoughts and anxieties at any one point in time. Our brains just kind of go, wow, so you have to tell yourself, no, now's not the time to think about that stuff. Now is the time to focus on your child. And you have to just bring yourself back at any one point in time to whatever it is that you're doing. Mindfulness practice goes a long way in helping this, and helping you really focus on the here and now, be very present in whatever it is, whether you're dealing with your kids or your business. So having a great structure, which if it can give you some peace of mind, that you have enough time for your kids and you have enough time for your business, because you can see that all out on your schedule or whatever. And then also the second part is the mental part, is really constantly pulling yourself back, your mind, your attention, your focus back to where you want it to be at that time. And that's going to be tough. It's not going to be tough. It's going to take a lot of effort in the beginning. It's not hard, but until you really practice that, you're going to feel your mind starting to wander constantly. It's going to feel like you're, for weeks, I just have to keep redirecting my attention. and that's normal. It is. So, so those two things, a great structure or schedule to your day and your week, and also just being constantly vigilant about where you're putting your focus and making sure that your focus is on where you want it to be at that time.
Okay, so I don't know if you're a Harry Potter fan, but you just said constant vigilance, which immediately took me to Harry Potter. And now I can't even think of the guy's name. Miss Moody, I think, the guy with the weird eye. Anyways, I thank you for saying that, because I am learning that more and more, and it's funny. And then I see that we're almost at the end of our time, so I want to make sure I give people, I want to give you a chance to talk about what you do, and since your lower third isn't there because you're on your phone, give people a place to go to talk, to find out more about you and what you're doing. But I do want to say that I used to have a job, and it was I thought it was ideal. It was a work from home job, and it was in sales, and it was in a company I loved for people I loved, and they were like, just try and work 20 hours a week and do it on your own time whenever. But because I couldn't have the structure that I wanted for my day, because it was so dependent on when the customers needed to be served, I found myself like locking myself in the bathroom so that my kids would be, and they're like banging on the door, mommy, mommy, while I'm trying to be professional on a sales call. And that was why I quit. It was because I was in that state of constant anxiety. But I'm grateful that I did, because it gave me the push I needed to really take my business seriously. And I'm betting that you coach a lot of people who are like me, right, who I know I am a fantastic coach. My clients get incredible results. But thus far, it's been, referral after referral after referral, which I have no doubt is always going to be the bread and butter of my business. But the idea of creating something that isn't dependent on me 24/7 was super appealing. Anyways, that's why I started this home-based business, was like, I have to learn how to manage that anxiety, and which leads down a different path to my Run Yourself Happy program and all that. But I have to learn how to figure this out and how to do exactly what you're saying with the structure to your day. And for me, it's about structure. I like to give structure to my 2-week periods of structure. I can't really think too much further out than that, but I can manage the 2-week period of structure. And then the other thing is the mental practice. And what you are saying, oh my gosh, is so true. And it is practice. I keep thinking of my friend Lisa Ingalls and her show, The Power of Practice. But that's it. I mean, that's what it's all about, is recognizing what's happening and then taking yourself through a practice where you're going to choose differently. And that's why working with a coach is so valuable. So I'm going to turn it over to you so you can tell people where to find you and how you can help them.
Sure. Yeah. Cool. You can so you can go to my website. I actually have a couple different websites, but the best one to go to is dr-anita.com. So that's dr-anita.com. And you can sign up and get on my email list, and I send out email notices for different things that I have going on. If you're interested in working with me, please feel free to shoot me an email. You can get access my email from that website. And you can set up a free and a no obligation, no pressure whatsoever, free discovery session with me. I have clients all over the country. I happen to be in Pennsylvania, but I have clients all over the country because I do most of my work by telephone, and we can see if I'm a good fit. And I do not put on a hard sell. Some coaches do. I absolutely do not, because my feeling is, you have to be really invested in this process for it to work. It does me no good if I try to strong arm someone into working with me. So I take a very kind of low key approach. But yeah. So and I most of my coaching, like I said, is over the telephone or Skype or whatever when the camera starts to work. But and then I do group coaching too. So I'm getting that started up as well. So I have a lot of different things. I'm also working on a downloadable product and all kinds of stuff kind of coming down the pike for me, which is exciting. But that's how you can get started. Just go to dr-anita.com.
All right, Anita, that is awesome. I've just put that in the comment section, actually, of our Hangout. So if you are looking for Anita's website, you can click on it there, or you can remember dr-anita.com and get a hold of her that way. I highly recommend it. If you don't already have a coach, that's what I do. That's what Anita does. That's what a lot of people who I have on this show do. But I just think it's so valuable that you find the right person for you, that you find the right person to support you in the way that you need to be supported. What I love about Anita is exactly what she just said. She's not a high pressure. She wants to make sure that you're a good fit. And she also has that psychology background. She's been doing some posts on Google Plus that are really fun. So if you don't follow her, put her in your circles, because she's just been putting little videos out there. I'm guessing she has a YouTube channel too that you can follow her on, and you can Google search that and find her YouTube channel, because yeah, she's putting out some really valuable content. That's how I asked her to be on the show. How I got connected with her is I saw what she was putting out there and resonated with it. So on that note, we are 2 minutes over, and like I mentioned, I've got to pick up a 4-year-old from preschool. So mompreneurs out there, please share the love. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, reshare this valuable conversation that we have, and join the conversation. If you're watching this on replay, write some comments. If you plus mention Anita and I, we will see those comments and be sure to comment back. So again, if you want to get a hold of Dr. Anita, she is dr-anita.com. And if you'd like to get a hold of me, find me on Google+, or you can check out my Run Yourself Happy System, which is on my lower third, runyourselfhappysystem.com. So thank you so much, all of you, for joining. Here is a big virtual hug for you. Have an awesome day, and take some of the things that Anita has suggested and apply them to your business today. Thanks so much. I will see you soon.